Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you had a great week and that you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out.
We sure had a great week.
We sure did.
It was a fun / funny one.
Mm-hmm.
And we have lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about.
We saw each other twice.
We saw each other twice, and you know, it's just what a pleasure. What a delight to just spend the day laughing, giggling, being silly. Just
we got ourselves into some situations, as we do. Which we'll get into, but yeah, I mean, how was your week? Let's just start off with your week.
My week was so good and so busy. This week, like, my word of the week was efficiency, because between my work schedule and everything that I had outside of work, plus like other responsibilities, like, I am shocked I didn't fall behind. And I was just like, get it done, head down. Like, I felt like I literally was like, I just want to sleep. Like, every single day I went to bed at least, but like at midnight or later. But it was also like, just like a great week. Like, there was so much greatness, like joy in this week. So first, starting off on Tuesday, I went to dinner with one of my oldest friends from San Diego, Chrissy. I met her 2 days after I moved here. And it was okay. And it was weird too, because when we were at dinner, we were just like talking about it. And I was like, wait, I moved here 13 years ago today. So it was like weird that we were like at dinner, like when it was happening. But yeah, I met her 2 days into living here, and we just became fast friends. And I just love her. And it's like just such a reminder of like the journey that I've been on since I've been here. And like, she's a mom of 2, you know, she's married and she lives in Northern California now. And so her and her family, her brother, mom, dad, everyone, they were down here. They just like rented, a place down here. And so me and my friend Stacy, were all friends. And so we all went to dinner, and it was just like so nice. Like, it was so much fun, and it's never enough time, you know, and I just like wanted to hang out with them. And, luckily she is coming back down, because Stacy's getting married in July, so she'll be at that wedding. So I was like, okay, we'll have like, and she'll be kid free. So I'm like, okay, we'll have like a little more time together and stuff. But it was just like, it was so nice. And then, you know, sports. Kelly and I went to opening day, as you guys all know. And then I also went to the game on Friday night as well, because it was my friend Joy's birthday. Both were incredible. Both were so fun. The vibes were same but different. And 2 back-to-back wins. So starting off the season strong, go Pods. And it was the perfect weather, like sunny sky, just enough breeze. You weren't cold, but you weren't hot. Like, the energy was there. The people were peopling, you know, like it was just a grand old time. We had wonderful seats, and we sat next to great people. Oh, I got to tell you about Friday night's game. And you know, Kelly will talk about it as well, but like we went on like a food journey. And
of course,
it was a great day. And then Kelly came in the next morning to work. She got a deep conditioning treatment and a blowout, and she got to experience the coffee car that's at my work, and so got to hang out there. And then Oh, which by the way, guys, if you're seeing, because I'm talking with my hands and you'll see in all of our videos, I did my spray tan really bad. And so you will see a lot of orange hands in the upcoming content. And I just want you to know that I'm aware and I know that it looks like shit. So don't think that I'm out here being like, that was the goal. I think I look great.
There was when we were at the game, we were standing in line for food, and this guy, he was like looking at Kyra's hands, and I could tell he wanted to ask her a question, but she was talking to me, and so he was
because
like,
I didn't even notice anything. Was my back to him at first?
Yes, your back was to him,
Okay.
and so I could see he was like about to ask her something, but he was like waiting till she finished talking, and I was like looking at him, like waiting to see what he was going to say. And then he ended up asking her about her tattoos on her hands. But I was like, thought he was going to say something about her spray tan.
Mama Bear's claws were ready to come
I was
out.
Like,
say something about her hands.
What's up? Because I mean, why would someone say that? But I don't know. It just,
they had reason to be asked about if
right. But
yeah.
No, because
right. Yeah. But yeah, Kelly was ready to throw down if he was about to say something about my hand.
I was. I didn't even hear what he said about the tattoos because I was just like,
she was like, what did he say?
I was like waiting for him to say anything tan. I was like, sir.
And then Friday night we went out for Joy's birthday and we had a ball. And well, I say ball to also say that Kelly was nervous a little bit of getting hit by a foul ball. Her family had put it in her mind that should be a concern of hers. So she was afraid. It would have had to have been a very specific hit in order to come where we were. But on Friday night, there was 3 foul balls that came right in front of us. And I was like, oh, she would not have liked this.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would say, okay, first of all, your storytelling today is a little bit confusing. You're going a lot back and forth. You're like, I was out for Joy's birthday and we had a ball. Kelly was scared of getting hit by a foul ball. To be fair, when the people in my family who said, watch out for foul balls, they had a general idea of where I was sitting. But then, yes, obviously, once we were there, we were just slightly under the overhang. So, and how the guy next to us explained, it would have to be
this
over the net, but then under, because if we weren't under the overhang, then we would obviously be in more danger of getting hit by a ball because whatever. Yeah. But it's I just don't really like having to pay attention. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm watching the game, but anytime that you're
leisure, you're enjoying, you're keeping. It's I don't want to have my eye on the ball.
You were sitting to the right of me. Mm-hmm. So if I want to be talking to you, the game is kind of behind me. But the guy next to me, he was funny and we were joking with him. And he really was like, oh, if a ball's coming, I'm catching it. And he just really that was his life goal, to catch a ball. And so it was obviously none even came near us, but every time the ball was even hit, remotely, he would jump up. And so then that panicked me because I'm even if I didn't see the ball, I'm oh my God, is it coming? And so it was just funny.
She was literally on the edge of her seat.
Yes. I mean, it was very exciting. And last season when we went to a game, the woman next to us had gotten hit by a ball and had a very large bruise. So it was just all very exciting. The game, so we when we first got there, let me tell you, we've talked about this before. Okay. I don't have to be right all the time. But sometimes I just am. Okay. So as we're leaving Kyra's house, first of all, I got this really cute, clear purse. This girl.
You guys, it is so cute. And I'm not a clear bag girly or a sports bag, a sports team bag girly. Both things combined. So cute. So freaking cute.
I'm not usually either, but this girl, she's a small business here in San Diego, but she's doing really well for herself. I know there's some MLB and NFL wives that have been wearing her stuff, and she's like doing really well. So basically she makes like custom bags, and she does like different sports teams, and she also does them for like concerts, anything. Anyways, they're like stadium approved clear bags with custom straps, all kinds of stuff. So I posted it on my Instagram and tagged her and stuff. So if you're interested, you can go find her. But anyway, so I had a clear bag, and, you know, so I have all my stuff in it. And so we're going to leave. The Uber's there. Kyra grabs her purse, which wasn't big by any means, but I feel like places nowadays are just like so strict. If it's not clear, they're just like, it has to be like this big. Okay. So I was like, are you allowed to have that bag? And she was like, yeah, I always bring this bag, like, whatever. And I was like, okay. And she was like, it doesn't have to be clear. And I was like, oh, I know, but like, it looks a little big. But like, we're leaving, okay? To me, in my brain at this moment, I'm not surprised. And I know there's going to be a thing. But I also know that Kyra's friend works there. So I'm thinking, okay, there's probably going to be a thing, but I know it's going to be fine. I know we're not going to like not go to the game. But I'm like, it's going to be a thing. It's okay. There's always a thing. And Kyra is just going to be like, you were right. I know this. So I'm like, whatever. So we go. The guy's like, holds his little thing. Nope, it's too big. Get out of the line or whatever.
And also, I just want to say, like, it was too big by like this much. Like,
it
was like, how could you ever think this would work? You know,
some people had like backpacks. That was like crazy. So then we're like, okay. And like, I can tell Kyra's like panicked in the sense of like me, like looking at her, not because she's like moving quickly. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there, just like looking. I don't say anything. And so then we're like putting all of her stuff in my bag because I'm like, we just throw all of her stuff in my clear bag and then like wrap her bag up and put it in.
I will say one thing about me, I'm thinking on my feet. Okay. If you tell me no, it's just, I'm talking to the wrong person. Like I'm going to figure it out. You're not going to like.
And to be fair, I didn't say a word, right? Like I was just like, okay. I wasn't like, see, I told you until later. No. I didn't say anything. I was just
nothing.
Like, calm, cool, collected. I was like, okay. So we just put it all in my bag. We go to the other gate. We get in, whatever. Like, it's all good. But I was just like internally like, I was right. And it was just like funny. So then we get in. Everything's good. So we're like excited. We're at the game. We go into this little like photo booth thing. We take a picture, which will be, it actually is on our Instagram today. It's our cover photo for the reel we made. And we're just loving life. So then we do our food tour. We get our dogs.
We got our dogs.
We got our dogs. We got our TJ dogs. So we're like, okay, we're going to go sit down. Or like, you know, like get a table to like eat our dogs.
With our dogs.
So we just grab a table. There was an open table. So we're like fucking around. We're facing our camera. And we're eating and we're just fucking around with each other for like 5 minutes. We're not paying really attention to anything except we're like filming and like eating. And then all of a sudden we look back and we're like, oh, they put like this rope up. So we're like roped into this area.
Like, why are we closed in?
Yeah, we were like, oh, are we like kicked out of the game? Like we can't get back into where the way that we came in, it was like roped off. So we're like, oh, that's weird. And then I was like, maybe they're closing the bar. Like we didn't know what inning it was in. So whatever, it was weird. So then we realized we're in like a members only area, this like VIP area, eating our hot dogs.
Which like makes sense, you know, like they knew we were supposed to be here. They were like, these two women we're
doing our segment, our mukbang.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they got it.
They're just eating their dogs. They're giving their review.
Actually, they were thinking that because the woman next to us, who wasn't in the roped, she was in the roped off section, was just staring at us.
And I was like, oh, are you a subscriber?
Because if you're not, you should be.
Right. So, I mean, we were just having a ball and then we just left, like we were done. But it was just so funny because we had no idea that we were in this members only area. But then as we were leaving, we saw them like checking people's IDs and their credentials to get in. And one of the pictures that I posted on my Instagram the other day, like it showed our hot dogs and stuff, and this guy commented like, "Oh, nice, you were in the members only lounge," and I was like,
Sure were.
"Yep,
Yes, we were.
as we should be. Like that's where we belong."
They sponsored us.
Yeah.
So weird.
So that was just fun, and then the other like hilarious thing that I was like just dying about was after the game. So we're on our Uber home. We're like, okay, so we had a bottle of Prosecco there, but we were by no means intoxicated at all.
At all.
The only reason we Ubered is because who would drive and try to park and do all that?
Well, yeah.
So, but we like weren't drunk. We were just like laughing a lot in the Uber because we were being silly. And so I got this little hat that our ice cream came in. It was like this little mini hat, and it was like,
we also only got the ice cream because of the hat.
Right. I mean, well, like, yeah, we paid extra for the little hats. Yeah. Like, we could have just got it in a regular cup.
You're like, no.
But we wanted the hat, and then, yeah. Aesthetic. So I'm like, well, I don't want to throw the hat away, even though I threw most of the ice cream away, and I'm like cleaning it out so I could keep the hat. And Kyra's like, what are you going to do with it? And I was like, I'll give it to Scout. And so I have this little mini hat. And so then in the Uber, I'm just like putting the little hat on, and I'm like joking around like, oh, when you like buy your merch off like Temu or whatever, and it's like, you know, like it's about this big on my head. And so we're just like cracking up and just like bantering, and our Uber driver, first of all, we're like in traffic, like not.
Oh yeah, like that's also the thing. Like we are literally just sitting in traffic.
And we're entertaining the fuck out of ourselves. Like the Uber driver did not speak one word to us, but we don't care. We don't need conversation. We're having conversation with ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about being a science podcast just to each other and just going and going and going. And like, we're fully entertained.
He hated us.
And all of a sudden he goes, I was like, oh, hell no.
Excuse me, are you going to you're going to look at us and tell us that we're not your favorite people that have, like, you've picked up today or ever?
A woman driver would never. She would be like, what is your podcast?
Exactly.
Like, 0 stars for that man. That just made us laugh even harder, though, because
we're like, we see you. We hear you. We see you. And it doesn't bother us because you just give us content.
You can't go anywhere. Hee hee, ha ha. We're not even on the freeway yet. Mm-hmm. I was
just like, we're funny.
Oh my God. And we were talking about turning solids into liquid and back. We were talking about chemistry. And like, you didn't know that before we got in the car.
Okay.
Like, this is doubling as a college class.
Like, it's just like, I don't think people, like, when they're experiencing us in real time, like, understand our value because they're just like, it's so much, it's so much, it's so much. I wasn't prepared.
They don't appreciate it.
Nope.
And you know what? That sounds like a problem.
That's on them. And one day they will. And they'll have said they wish they knew us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, we're entertaining.
Yeah. What the
Heaven forbid.
My God.
So that was our baseball, extravaganza. Friday night's game, like I said, for Joy's birthday was super, super fun. We went to Neighborhood after, which I was nervous about going because it's so small. And I was like, oh my God, like it's Friday night and it's opening weekend. Like, and we're going post game, like, are we even going to get a seat? And so me, like, just like getting anxious about things like that. I'm like, we're going to go. It's Joy's birthday. Like, that's where she wants to go. And then we went, and it was like, couldn't have been better. Like, people were getting up as we were leaving. We took over like this whole like corner section of the bar. The music was good. Like, we just had a great time. And then I had to take my ass
Neighborhood
home. I love Neighborhood because their food is bomb too.
So good. My friend was a bartender there, and she just left because now she's working at Starlight, which is good. Like, I'm excited to try it there as well. But yeah, so I used to always go see her at Neighborhood. But yeah, I love it there.
Another place, speaking of like local food places in San Diego, I went to Northgate Market yesterday. Have you ever been?
Is it in Barrio Logan?
They might have one there. I went to the one off of University and 54th.
No.
In like that area.
Oh, is that City Heights? Where is
Ish,
that?
Yeah, you're getting into like Skyline, like ish over there.
Okay.
But oh my God, it is like Mexican food heaven. It's just this like massive Mexican market, like grocery store. Like their fresh guacamole. They have like, I mean, literally everything. Their flour tortillas, their warm corn tortillas, like ready to go. I got the best ceviche from there. Like, oh my God, it was like they didn't have any fresh juices, which I was bummed about, but they like have like fresh watermelon juice, like so if you like Mexican food and like the good type of like tortilla chips, you know, like the baked ones, like oh my gosh, so good.
Yum.
So good. So yeah, if you're like doing like a Mexican food night, like or just you want good Mexican food, go there. You don't have to have a themed party in order to go there and enjoy it.
I'll have to look up the place that I'm thinking of in Barrio Logan to see if that's what it is.
It's called something else, I think the one you're talking about in Barrio Logan, and it's smaller. Because there's one in Del Mar or Carmel Valley.
I'm just like picturing what the parking lot. It's kind of by like the Ryan Bros Coffee because I park in the parking lot.
No. Mm-mm. Yep. I know what you're talking about. We'll figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it because we've been like chatting away a lot, but I do want to encourage everyone because I will be talking about it next week because I'm just so fascinated by everything. The pyramids and all of the things that they have found, like the chambers that they found in Giza. And I am just rabbit holing down and it is so incredible. So if you guys want to like learn about that, I'm going to talk about it next week because
I want to learn
crazy.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one more small thing to talk about.
Yes, a big thing to talk about.
So on Friday night, while you were at Joy's birthday party, or not birthday party, but birthday at the game, I played pickleball and participated in pickleball speed dating.
And she looked bomb.
Thank you. It was an experience. I have done speed dating one time before. That experience was more of like a traditional speed dating where it was like at a bar and you were like sitting at a table with someone for like 5 minutes or whatever and just like talking and switching. This was better because we were actually playing pickleball and so you had like an activity. And then but then obviously there was like challenges because it's hard to like talk while you're playing. But this was their first time doing this event, so I think they obviously need to make some adjustments and they will probably get better. But they also had like a bar area and like snacks and stuff, and there was like a break at one point and people could like mingle. One thing I did like about it was I don't know if this is how it happened. There was like 50 people there, first of all.
It's a good turnout, I feel like.
There was a lot of people. It was more than I expected, so that was good. There were slightly more girls than guys, but it was still like...
That's also good because I would have thought there would have been way more girls than guys.
Yeah, so I think there were some like games or like sessions where girls were like sitting out because there was more girls, but also just because there wasn't as many courts, which I think was totally fine because who's going to play for like hours and hours straight. So it was fine. But something that the experience that I had was that I was kind of paired almost with the same girl and me and her stayed together the whole time and kind of just moved courts, which I liked because I really liked her. And she told me that she just kind of started rekindling with this guy that she's been talking to. So she wasn't really like
interested,
that invested.
Oh,
so as we would like walk up to a new court, she would kind of be like, okay, what guy are you most interested in? Because she like didn't really care either way. So then I got to like pick which one. And then, I mean, obviously we could both talk to both of them, but
of
like
course.
I got first
Yeah.
pick.
That
And
like couldn't have been a better pairing.
I know. So she was like a good like wing woman, and she was like really nice and fun. And so yeah, it worked out well. The first like, because they just initially matched us with someone for the very first game, and then after that, like the guys I think stayed on the same court, and then the girls just moved. But for each match, we kind of, like I said, we would just walk up and you would just kind of like pick either or. And so for the very first match, like the person that I was matched with was a little bit awkward. He didn't talk very much, but I think he was just kind of shy. But that's why it's good that you're playing the game, because if you don't talk, it's okay.
Right.
But then for the ones that were talking, it was nice because it just flowed nicely. I didn't really have any like super awkwardness.
Now, did we like exchange Instagrams at
Okay,
all?
so the way that it worked was they had these like forms that you fill out,
Okay.
and you kind of like rate. You say like yes, no, or like just friends or something.
To each person that you
Yeah.
like, okay.
And then you turn it in, and then basically like if
cipher through, and like if it matches, then connect you guys.
tell you. So they're supposed to like let people know this week. I mean, you could like people could exchange
Right, like
information
could,
that
yeah,
are obviously
right,
it wasn't like against the rules. But so basically I was interested in 2 people potentially, but I didn't turn the form in.
Kelly.
But it's okay. I'll tell you offline because it's like kind of complicated why I didn't turn it in.
Is it actually complicated?
Yeah.
Or did you make it complicated?
No, it is kind of complicated. It's like a lot. It's like going to take me a while to explain it. So that's why it's like not.
Yep.
But yeah.
God, Jesus. Well, if you're listening and your friend went to the pickleball event, or you went to the pickleball event and you wanted to match with Kelly, can you please reach out to her since she doesn't?
I mean, maybe not that broadly.
Yes, everyone, if anyone is interested in dating Kelly, teeth, no teeth, long hair, short hair, I don't care.
I do. I care.
It's about what's on the inside. You know, do you make her feel good?
You don't.
You don't. So guys, her inbox is open. My inbox is open on account for her. So you can just, if you want me to be the one to, connect you guys, no problem. I will play matchmaker for Kelly.
I'm blocking Kyra as we speak. So but yeah.
Jesus.
I know.
The one thing, like the purpose of going was to connect with people. And the way to connect with them was to do this one thing.
I know, but
that you didn't do.
There's still like potential hope. Even though I didn't fill out the form.
I have started praying, and the
amount of people I have praying for me in my life, I mean,
I am going to manifest that my number will come to him in his head and he will reach out. Good. Yeah. I like that plan.
I mean, honestly, if someone was that into me, they would have just probably asked for me. I probably wouldn't have had to
or what if they were like, I don't want to get shot down. Hopefully we match. Hopefully our papers match.
Well, this is the thing. I don't feel like the guys were filling the forms out because they didn't get a break. So that was one of the feedback I gave the girl is when they would come switch us, they already had the next set of girls. And then, so they would bring the next set of girls, and then that would be our cue to go to the next. So it's when were the guys filling out the form? They didn't even have pens. So then at the end, the girl was like, do you have your form? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't think the guy that I'm interested in filled it out. So no. She was sick.
What was the age range of people?
I mean, there was a lot of people around my age. Everyone that I played with, I think I played 5 matches, was around my age. but there was a wide age range there, which was alarming because I was like, oh, hell no.
Were there older women and older men?
No, just men.
Oh.
The women, I think there was like some younger women, like in like there. I think there was like a 23-year-old.
Were any of the old guys talking to the young girls?
They weren't like old, but I feel there was one guy that looked like he was like maybe in his like mid to late 40s, which I don't think is old, but
That's not old, but like if
it's
it
not
depends
old.
who
But
you're
then there's like a
talking to,
23-year-old
right,
girl,
right,
so then
right.
it just seemed like it could be very broad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't. There was two separate sides of courts, so I was on one side, and all the people that were on my side were basically in the same age range as me, but I
Okay.
saw the other people when we were like in the bar area.
Do you think that they thought that those people were the rejects, so they put them all together and they're like, these people look like they have more hope. We're gonna group them together. And they're like, and then these people, they don't look like they're gonna be so lucky, so we'll group them together.
No, because Alex was there and she was on the sad side and she didn't have a good experience. I just got lucky and happened to be on the fun side. Yeah, so she didn't have as much fun. But then they brought the booze out and then she started having fun.
She was like, and suddenly it's fun.
It's fun, yeah. So, but she didn't.
Would you do it again?
No.
Okay. Did you add that as feedback?
No, there wasn't a place to like give feedback. I verbally gave my feedback because I felt like it. They didn't like solicit it. No.
And that's our girl. And that's our girl.
So, yep. That's just me putting myself out there and
doing it though. You're doing it. Oh, and I recruited everyone to do the thing that you sent me, the picture friend. So we want to make a girls' night, and it'd be like we'll do Joy and you, and then like and Nina.
Did you see the eligible men that they post on there though?
Oh no, I did not.
Oh.
Should I take a look at that before we confirm?
They're hot singles. I was like, okay.
By whose definition? Well, it goes back to what's on the inside. How do they make you feel?
Okay, so we'll pitch you. Perfect.
Well, you can't pitch me.
Yeah, we can. Oh, you have a man?
No.
Didn't think so. So what happened in the news this week?
Yep, moving right along. Okay, we have two departures from different franchises. Garcelle is leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Leva is leaving Southern Charm. I would like to say I don't care about either of these departures. Garcelle a little bit more. I just, you know what I will say, prior to any other season, I would be really sad that she left. I don't love her this season, which I'm sad about because
you don't like Sutton.
Oh, no. I was just about to say, I think that her not being friends with Sutton, we'll see the earlier side of her. What I like about Garcelle is like, she holds people accountable, but then I think like over the past couple seasons, she started playing the game, like the Housewives game a little bit, and losing that authenticity that I like truly loved about her. Well, she was Beauvais. You know what I mean? She was calling a spade, and then she kind of got like one-sided.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm interested to see like what the final straw was, which we'll see during the reunion. Leva could not care less. She said she's going to focus on Southern Hospitality, which she's never on that show.
You're not on it. Okay.
So, whatever.
Bye, girl.
So Teresa and Louis in some potential legal trouble with this $3 million tax lien. And I was just reading about it, and it's like, girl, with your past fraud, it's not looking good. Because they could really come after you.
So this just plays into why I dislike her so much. Because instead of listening to everyone around you who truly does have your back and care about you, that said, hey, maybe based on your past, he could be the greatest guy in the world. He really could be. But just in case, set yourself up so that you protect yourself. Do this, do this, do this. I don't know. He's kind of fishy. I don't know. This story was said. I don't know. This person came to me. I don't know. Things aren't adding up. No, 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 no. Take it like, 10 toes down the whole fucking time. And it's just, and like then being rude and mean and like hypocritical about everything. And it's just like to get yourself right back in the position everyone tried to warn you about.
I know. The article that I
Again.
was reading was saying that it's also like very common for reality stars to not pay, not that it's like okay obviously, but like to not pay these taxes because like they get all this money and you have to put that money aside to pay your taxes back. And a lot of these people don't, and they just spend. And the more you make, the more taxes you're gonna owe, and they just keep spending it, and then they don't, and it adds up, and now it's $3 million that you owe, and you don't have $3 million to pay. And because of the fact that she has this past fraud and went to prison and all this stuff, like she has to be extra, extra careful because they are really looking at her. And it's like, you cannot be doing anything even slightly wrong or shady.
And it's like, look at your husband. And you don't have a prenup. And you just like the thing that the one thing that I will always defend about Teresa, I do not like her. What she did for her family after getting out of prison. I mean, even going to prison for her family, first and foremost, and then, well, for her husband. And then like losing both of her parents, like shortly after, once during and then once like shortly after, like how she built herself back up again and like hustled. Like I will never take that away from her. And so that's why it's even more just like, are you kidding?
I know.
You did all that to be right back in this situation again and jeopardizing any freedom?
I know. It's crazy.
For this loser ass man who everybody said was sketchy from the beginning and is proving to be sketchy?
Well, speaking of loser ass men,
Jax.
So I was happy that you sent me the video because I had not seen it, and what was it? It was like an interview that he did.
Yeah.
And basically talking about
breaking his silence.
I mean, how long were you silent for? Because we just heard from you not long ago.
You have a podcast.
Right.
You're going on a podcast tour.
We just heard from you. Like, be silent. Stop breaking.
I wish you would not break your silence.
Right. So he breaks his silence and isn't never gonna bash Brittany. And like
never gonna bash her.
All you do is bash her.
And then proceeds to just
annihilate her.
In every facet.
And not placing blame while simultaneously blaming her for everything.
It couldn't have been that bad. Why'd she stay? Why didn't she suggest therapy? We literally
She not only suggested it, she begged you to get help and go to therapy and like do
for
so
like
many things.
An extended period of time.
Years.
Like it wasn't just like, oh, we saw it like a couple times she might have mentioned it.
The delusion.
But it's like, so if you guys haven't seen it, like he literally starts and he's like, listen, how I was raised, you just don't talk about your spouse. You don't do it. You don't talk about it publicly. Am I mad at what she said? Yeah. Do I like what she said? No. Does it make me angry? Is it true? Is there another story? Yeah. I'm like, well, that's crazy because for someone who doesn't want to talk about their family and spouse, it sounds a whole lot like
never stop talking about it. Ever. You've never talked about anything else, actually. You've never heard you talk about anything else. Ever. Except your coke addiction. Which his
prior coke addiction, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's sober.
Mm-hmm.
He looks it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that's Jax for you.
That's Jax. And then the last thing that we had was Craig's new girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean the Craig and Paige saga kind of just continues on, and I'm over it. But
I'm
now
so
he has a
over
new
it.
girlfriend.
She's pretty. She used to date dude from the quarterback from Dallas. Jesus. Dak
Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her.
She's
I just
young.
know.
She's
yeah.
27, 28 or something like that. Craig's 37. So
Okay.
yep. Okay. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills finale. We got so much and nothing all in one. And
I feel like I just have to say this because I feel like I'm not going to contribute that much to this conversation because I really I did watch it, but
nothing
then I was
gave
like,
finale.
did
Nothing
I
gave
watch
finale.
it? Because I'm like, I don't remember watching it. So
I watched it, and I mean, like I said, nothing about it was like, oh, this is the finale. Like, oh, this is good. Like, no, the only thing good was they're in St. Lucia still, and just the zero fucks that Kathy Hilton gives about what she looks like, what she wears. Like, I just can't. She shows up to dinner. Everyone is like dressed. I mean, they're the Beverly Hills women. Like, they get dressed for dinner, you know, and they get dressed to go to the car wash. And so Kathy comes up and just like literally like it looks like a Hanes t-shirt and shorts, and she was just like, oh yeah, I don't care. And then you see her come back like later, like a little bit into the dinner, and she's wearing a dress, and she goes, I had to change, I peed a little.
she's so bizarre.
Like, and then Sutton's at the dinner, and it's Erica and Dorit's birthday, and like Sutton, you know, doing her victim thing. I get it. It was a lot. I understand, have your moment. But if you choose to come to dinner, then you choose to like participate, especially if it's someone's birthday. Now it's the two people you happen to not like, so I don't know why you would go to the dinner, but you went.
Weird.
And they're just like lightheartedly like having fun, mimicking one another, you know, like doing impersonations. And Sutton is just there like, and no one sounds like that. And it's just like, okay, bitch, then stay home. Stay home.
I know.
This is my birthday.
I do think it was weird though, because now I'm remembering that like Jennifer and Garcelle kind of like told the group before the dinner, like, oh, Sutton's like so upset, and like this whole thing. I don't think they did it like maliciously, but then it like set the tone weird because then like when they first were doing that, I thought Sutton wasn't going to come to the dinner. Right. And so then it was like, well,
they probably thought that too.
Right. I guess. But they were like, oh, she's like just taking a little longer to get ready or whatever. I don't know. And so then it was awkward that like she still was coming, and they'd already kind of like set it up as like, oh, she's so upset, which she was. But then it was awkward for her to come into it to be like, oh, I don't know. Right. So anyways,
and then yeah, like nothing like honestly like really happened, but then they did like a carnival, like an ode to carnival, and which I didn't realize they were just going to dinner dressed like that, but Erica and Bose looked phenomenal. If I looked like either of them, I'd wear that outfit every day, wings and all. Like, you better believe me and Kelly would be sitting here in our carnival outfits every week.
Monday morning.
Oh my God, Erica looked so freaking
she did,
good.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone looked good, and I think that everyone like dressed according to themselves. Like I thought it was very representative of who each of them were.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was nothing. Snooze Town, like
yeah. And then they show like a thing at the end that's like Tom already got sentenced to 80 years, and Erica's like, he doesn't even have 80 days. It's like, it's bleak. And that's
yeah,
like it. And then they show, you know, that obviously the reunion is going to be starting this week. And it looks like it's going to be good, but I mean, they always make it look good, and then sometimes it's disappointing, so we'll have to see. But that's when Garcelle quits. So we'll see.
We'll see. Southern Charm reunion part 1.
Let's talk about the looks first.
Okay. Leva's at the bottom.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. So for the amount of money that she supposedly has, like, I mean, obviously she's not at like Patricia's status, but like she has money. It was so ill-fitting.
You don't even have to have money to look good.
Right. No, I know. But like, if you have money, you have no excuse not to.
Right. She looked so cheap, and
the color looked amazing on her.
Yeah, against her skin for sure.
Fit was so ill-fitting. It looked horrible.
Her hair should not have been styled like that.
She is a beautiful woman, and we've seen her look beautiful, like, you know, look great before. So it's like,
it looked like she didn't know that she had the reunion, and she was just like, oh fuck, like I have to just wear this dress.
Right. She was just falling out of it. And it was just like, what is going on? Is this your first reunion? No, exactly. It's not. So what are you doing?
And then I didn't even need her there because she offered literally nothing.
I know. And Craig was like, this is the most you've talked all season, and which was true. Craig looked good. He
looked really good. But kind of to the point that we were talking about earlier in the episode, like, I'm so over hearing about him and Paige.
Me too. And I think he's over talking about it.
I think that the two of you are always going to have a different story. And he was on Watch What Happens Live this week with Austin and Shep, and it was annoying because like I definitely see where Paige is coming from about him like just like being a secret hater. Because Andy like asked him, and Andy's like, you know, now that you've seen this and Paige said this, like, how do you feel? And he was like, that's not true. And he was like, well, she's telling you like this is how she felt. And he was like, no, I didn't do that. And it's just like, okay, like,
I just
you guys were never. It just like it
in any breakup. This is how it is. People see things differently. That's why you didn't work out. But in most breakups, we don't have to dissect like if you think about your own personal relationships and you and your ex, if you were asked this many times, how did this conversation go? How did this go? How did this go? What did they do to this? You're probably going to have different answers and different opinions, but it's like, it's not for the world to dissect and have to explain it over and over and over again. And so it's just like, leave them both alone. I feel bad for both of them that they have to talk about it. I think they both did stuff wrong. They both did stuff right. They both like, it's just, no one's 100% perfect in relationships. They both fucked up. They both were wronged. They both were hurt. They like, just, it's just so over.
I will say like I did. And again, it goes back to like, I get both of their sides because as a girl, I could understand her saying to him like, well, why didn't you chase me? Like, why didn't you try? And then I also very much am on his side of like, I'm not chasing someone I'm spending the rest of my life with. Like, I shouldn't have to do that to show you we could be together forever.
Totally.
So it's like,
we understand stuff from both sides. And like, we're also getting told things like out of context and out of order, probably. It just feels like icky and invasive to be hearing like they're like taking shots at each other. And I'm glad that like this, I mean, I'm glad Southern Charm is over because like, at least we're going to stop hearing about it on Southern Charm.
Right.
We're obviously still seeing it on Summer House because that's still on, but it's
which
like,
I'm enjoying,
kind of wrapping up.
I'm enjoying what we're seeing of it on Summer House though.
Yeah. It's a different like perspective.
Yeah.
But, so on Southern Charm, I think he looked so good on the reunion. I was like laughing because at the Padres game the other day, Kyra was like, for our listeners to know, Kyra was like, okay, like if you see a guy that you think is hot, like point him out. She's like trying to get to know like what my type is. I don't really like have a type, I don't feel, but I think
we're starting to get somewhere.
I mean, I do like dark hair, so that's the start.
I think you have two categories. Like I think that you like this type of person. I think you like this type of person. Like there's appreciation for both.
That was very general. I like this.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted me to say it. I didn't know.
I was like, wait, I was like,
I just
you,
I was
you
purposely
can say it.
like I feel like you like that like clean cut like businessman, but I
Mhm.
also think you like that like beard, like does stuff outdoors, but like is a man and like appreciates his woman type. So I feel like you're
Yes.
both categories.
Yes, because I was gonna say like I was gonna say I like Craig looked so good, but then I was like I really like facial hair and stuff, and he doesn't have facial hair. But yeah, so yes, you're exactly right. So he looked so
Mark
good.
that, folks. Mark that moment.
Yeah, the
Say it
one
again.
time. The
Say it
one time.
again.
Kyra is right.
Wow.
Because I told her and she repeated it.
Because she is copying what I said.
We obviously don't like JT. That hasn't changed, but I do have to give him credit for showing up. Most people that quit the show would not show up to the reunion and be so like non-defensive. Like he's just very much like good to be here, good to see you, and he's not like doing it in like a sarcastic way. Like I think he's just like I still don't like him.
Uh-huh.
But I think we've seen this so many times, like people, when they feel awkward or uncomfortable, they come on and they do it very defensive and sarcastic and like, yeah, like this is great. Can't wait to be here. Yeah, blah, blah. He was like, yeah, I was being a bitch. And like,
I think that I agree with what you're saying in the sense of like we typically see a different version of people who have quit shows. I think that is why I think that is who he is. I think that he is someone who is a little bitch boy. He took Shane's title, and I think that he like always comes with his tail between his legs because he understands like he has nothing without this show, so he has to be this way. And I think like that's the delusion in him.
Bravo's new bitch boy.
Bravo's new bitch boy.
But I mean, yeah, that might be true, but I still think props to you. Whether that, I mean, that means
Kelly's
nothing.
nicer than me. She'll give you props. Like if she doesn't like, I won't. I just don't like him.
No,
And
I still don't like him.
Sense.
But I still think that there's a lot of people, like even like Shep wouldn't do that. Like there's a lot of people who still wouldn't even do that. They wouldn't come back on. They would say, no, I'm not even going to do that. And they wouldn't even give, because you know how annoying it would be for him to not be on the reunion and us to not get any of the conversation with him. That'd be so fucking annoying. And he could have easily done that because he quit. And so it's like, as a viewer, I'm like, okay, well, thank you for at least coming and having these conversations with Vanita, because that's a huge part of the season.
Totally.
So as a viewer, I'm happy that he came. Molly and Shep.
I like them.
Are they gonna like be together? Because they said they hooked up.
I like them, and she's just like so supportive of him.
I know. And then they like just said they hooked up, and then like they just haven't really seen each other because they've been like busy or like out of town or whatever. But it seems like there's like potential.
And I love that, like, when people were trying to, like, say something, she was like, I think that's really good. I don't think you should ever, feel guilty about that or not have that. That makes you really a great person.
Your vulnerability and, like, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, that's great. And, like, yeah.
That's what he needs.
I know. So that was part 1. I don't know what this last note is on here, but you don't either. Perfect. Okay. And then Summer House. So every party this season is just like multiple weeks long. So we're still on the shipwrecked party. Jesse and Sierra are like having a thing, which I'm all for. I am shipping their shipwrecked romance.
Yep.
And so is everyone else, it seems. And I think it's so cute. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's cute, and I think it's like interesting.
And I honestly, like, of course, West and him are friends, and West dated her last year, and there was like this weird thing, but like they not dated for 4 months, 5 months, maybe.
I don't think West would care. And not in like a
either.
mean way, but I just think he wouldn't.
I think he'd be relieved that like things could go back to like semi-normal again and he could just like enjoy her company.
Yeah, because I think he truly like wants to just be like good with her. And I think he does like her as a person.
Yep.
And we kind of see later in the episode that like he's frustrated, like not only that he's like painted as kind of like a bad guy, but that he just like wants to be able to be like civil, and not only just civil, but like friends. Like he's like, I like her as a person and like I want to be friends. The thing that annoys me about that whole situation is that like, yes, she does not like West and she continues to not like him, but she also, it's not like Sierra goes out of her way to like go talk to West and then talk shit about him. Like everyone else pushes West on her and she says, no, this is my boundary. I don't forgive him. And that's okay. So I don't like that it's like, oh, well, Sierra needs to get over. No, she doesn't. She doesn't ever have to forgive him if she doesn't want to. If she was like continuously like flirting with him or pretending to be friends with him or like hanging out with him and then like the next day being like, oh, you used me, like, fuck you, then his reaction would be more like, okay, I get it, because she's like acting like it's okay and then acting like, oh no, now I'm still pissed. But it seems like she just minds her own business and is doing her own thing and is like, I just can be civil with you, but I'm not interested in pursuing the friendship. But I don't forgive you. And everyone else is kind of like, forgive him. And she's like, I don't want to. Like, and
I'm not saying I never will. And I'm not saying it couldn't happen or wouldn't happen. I just am not there now and like, shut up about it.
Right. She only like responds when people brings it up to her. And so it's like, just stop bringing it up. Like leave her alone about it. But whatever. I think it'll be fine eventually. So
I do too. And then, like, so we see Paige and Craig like unraveling a bit more and understanding, about how they got to the point of, breaking up. And we talked about this last week too, but, it's funny because in the, so I listen to Giggly Squad, normally. And
I do too. I've been listening regularly.
And back when Paige started taking the beta blockers and talking about anxiety, I did really think it was strange not because it's strange to experience that, but for her specifically when she hasn't had these experiences before. And I did think at that time, I was like, God, I wonder, like, it has to be about Craig. Like, how did this just start? Especially like you're on tour, you're doing the very thing that you love the most. Like, this should be the most exciting thing for you. Like, how would all of this like creep in now? And so we're now finding out that he, was the reason. And like, also too, like, I feel for her in the sense that like in her confessional, she says like, I told Craig, if you want to be there the entire time, like, be there. Like, you're my boyfriend. Like, of course you're welcome. So then it's just like for Craig to play victim of like, well, I just want to make sure that our relationship is still a focus. And I just, you're going to be doing this and we're not going to see each other. It's often, it's like, you don't have a job that you need to be somewhere all the time. You make good money. Like, you could be with her the entire time, or like out of 54 tour dates, you could go to 40 of them. Like,
right.
And
you're
that's
already
just
not
life.
Together all the time.
Right.
So.
And like, that's a life thing. Like, life is always going to, like, something is going to happen where your regular schedule is going to have to shift. And like, if that shift is for the better, like, how could you not be supportive? And it sucks because I guess in his mind, he thought he was being supportive, but like backhanding and saying like, I'm really excited for you, but what about us? And like, I would never stop you, but I am worried about us. And I think you should totally go for it. But like, do you think we're going to suffer? It's like,
it's making her feel guilty. So it's not being fully supportive because you're putting that guilt on her and that's not fair. And it's making her question things and making her have this added layer of like doubt and guilt. And like, that's just not fair. So
I want to get a show of just Sierra and Paige because I want to know what their conversations are off camera because
I know,
like, Sierra is such a great friend, and we've talked about that before. Her and Paige are both great friends. And I loved the part where she was like, "What would your mom say?" And she was like,
I know. She's like, my mom would kill me.
Mhm.
I also totally forgot that Sierra and Austin used to date.
Mhm.
And since Austin and Craig are such good friends, I wonder if, like, what kind of conversations Austin and Sierra had. I completely forgot about that. So, yeah, it was definitely interesting to see just the girl talk, how you talk to your girlfriends about things. And so I'm enjoying seeing it from the summer house side. And then Kyle and Craig talk, they, boys get over shit. So that's over. And then Carl and his date are just seeming like a match made in heaven. And then her parents came to pick her up, and it was like, I mean, we didn't like see them, but we like
I
heard.
loved it.
It was so cute.
And she was like, "Do you want to come say hi?" And he's like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
And okay. So one thing about me, I love magic. We talked about this before. Like, that's why I have magic tattooed on me. Like, I love magic so much. You could do the same trick 75 times in front of me in a row, and I am just as amazed every time. Like, I just love it. So the fact that like I like when she was like, "I love magic," and she was like, "I always carry a deck with me." She's like, "I don't know how to do any of them," but she's like, "I always have a deck."
They're just,
I was like,
and
so
she was
relatable.
so like supportive of what he was talking. It was just like exactly what he wants.
Exactly what he deserves, needs,
Yeah.
wants, all of the above. They are both a little
They were like dancing
off. Like, yeah.
alone, and just like it was just cute. You could tell they were just
So,
having fun in their own world.
yep. Yep. And I think that is like really exactly what he needs.
Totally.
And she didn't seem to be bothered by the cameras or anything.
No.
Like, so I
But
really
she
like
also
that.
wasn't like into it, like she's trying to be on TV.
Right.
She just
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I think because I'm sorry. So my point was going to be that I don't think that he could be with someone in the limelight.
No.
And or with like a very, very strong personality. He needs that more nurturing. And I liked that.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
She was cute.
Yeah, so that was it for our shows this week. We only had 3, but it was lots to talk about, especially with our week. So that was it for our shows this week. But of course, we're going to end with our questions of the week because we always want to be learning and growing. And make sure that you answer these questions with us in our comments, either like on YouTube or Instagram. Leave us a comment and let us know what you are working on this week. Or what you're looking forward to. Any of the questions that you want to answer, we would love to hear your answers as well. So, what is one thing you're working on?
Surviving. So last week was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot last week. So this week I'm just like, I just need to survive.
That's a good one. Mine is just going to be like my sleep schedule because the first day of spring quarter is tomorrow for my students. So I'm going to be very busy with work. I just need to like get good sleep and make that a priority so that I can also survive. What is one thing you're looking forward to?
Having a slower week this week, not having 75 things on my to-do list.
Okay. I am looking forward to having a productive week, I guess. I mean,
great. I love that we're opposite.
Yeah, it's going to be busy, but I know I'll be productive, so I like that. What is something that made you feel like an adult?
Being efficient with my time.
That is very good. I would say mine was going speed dating. I mean, it feels very adult.
That is adult.
I don't know if it's good, but
yes, I think that's a very adult thing. Like, you are not on the apps, like you went like in person live, like that's very adult. Like,
yeah. And then we are going to start doing a new question, which is, what is one thing we did this week to contribute to our mental health? So what's yours?
Okay. So I have been allowing myself to cry. And I feel like I'm a person who like I deal with sadness differently. I'm just like, okay, like I rationalize everything to like calm everything down and like just like make sense of it. But of course, like there are those moments of like true sadness, and I feel like I like stop myself from crying. So this week, because of some things that have happened, yeah, I just like let myself have a good cry.
Good. That is
Mm-hmm.
good. I yesterday I went over to hang out with my mom who's in town, and she's staying with our family member, and I literally went over and I was like really wanted to just like hang out, and then I was like so tired and I just took a nap. And I know that sounds like silly, but
That's
I
not
like
silly.
didn't feel guilty about it. And my mom was like, I'm just gonna read. And so my mom like just like laid in bed with me and she was reading and I just napped. And it felt so good to just like rest and like let myself rest and not feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I woke up, I was showing her like a bunch of different clips from the podcast, and I was like showing her all kinds of stuff. I was showing her stuff from the San Diego Scout and then clips of the podcast and like all kinds of stuff. But it just felt good to like hang out with her, obviously, but like the nap part and just because,
Recharge.
yeah, because I felt like guilty, like, oh, I came over here to hang out with her, but then I was like, I just need to take a nap. And then I
I'm
was like,
sure
oh,
she loved nothing more than like reading while her daughter was sleeping next to her.
she
Like,
did. She's like, I used to do this to my mom. I used to just, because it's like, I just feel like safe and comfy. And I'm
yeah.
like, my mommy. So yeah, that was nice. And I needed it before this busy week. So yes, but that is all for this week. We hope you laughed along with us and maybe learned something. Make sure you are following us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads. We need to get back all on there. And then subscribe wherever you listen to us, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Make sure you rate, review, share us, all the things that help us continue to grow. And we appreciate everyone who is already doing those things and engaging with us every week. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.